muzzle plays, right? They were able to see a difference of 10% in the sales after they introduced the device, wherein consumers could check the whey protein that was being consumed, right? So the test kits just brought in a jump of 10% in the sales. I think so. Brands need to understand that preventing counterfeiting is not just helping the consumers, but also improving their sales,
Your
bottom line, your brand value as well.
Protein supplements and all these things, dietary supplements, they're unregulated. Yeah. So a lot of the responsibility falls on the brand to ensure that the consumers are consuming the correct product. So what do you think a brand is supposed to do, or how do they empower the customers to actually fight this?
Two things. Awareness. We need to create awareness among the consumers that there is a good chunk of fakes out there. You need to be aware of that, and then people can innovate around how consumers verify. I've seen examples of what Muzzle Place has done. For example, they kind of introduced, I think, a protein check or instrument or something like that, which consumers could then use to verify whether what the protein or the whey they have purchased is actually a whey protein or not, right? So I think that helps, using technology, using instruments of verification, which enables consumer to do that. And you can also use technologies wherein consumers can verify the product in itself, through the packaging, through smart packaging, smart technology as well. So there are various things which brands will have to do. One, like I said, awareness. Second is providing consumers a way to verify what they're actually consuming is a genuine product or not. Or, it could just be, letting them verify if it's made of the right composition, etc., whether it's healthy for them or not. So smaller things like this, I think, go a lot in helping them, ensure that consumers don't consume counterfeit product. And there are benefits out of this, right? You're not just ensuring that your consumers are getting healthy dose of what they really need to get, but also we've seen in the specific case which I just mentioned, Muzzle Plays, right? They were able to see a difference of 10% in the sales after they introduced the device, wherein consumers could check the whey protein that was being consumed, right? So the test kits just brought in a jump of 10% in the sales. I think so. Brands need to understand that preventing counterfeiting is not just helping the consumers, but also improving their sales,
your
bottom line, your brand value as well. So I think that's very important for a brand.
So let's talk about this a little bit more. A lot of dietary supplements, at least as a normal urban consumer myself, I've ended up purchasing online. So what do you think brands should do when they are tackling this online? And what do you think brands should do when they're tackling this offline? Because supply chains are completely different.
Yeah.
So how do you think they should go about?
So there's one word which has been commonly used across all marketing. One of the buzzwords is Omnichannel. So most brands have an Omnichannel strategy about how they sell online, how they sell offline as well. Part of the supply chain would be common. Then after that, it separates out where for offline, it could go to retail stores. But for online, it's just sold on these marketplaces. Offline, of course, if you have your own retail branded store, you can still ensure that what is going to that branded store is still yours. You can still ensure and have some control. But if you have retailers who are not within your own supply chain or within your own network, and if you have third-party retailers, then obviously there's a good likelihood that fake products are being sold. Or if you don't exclusively sell within your own network, then obviously if your product is sold across various retailers, then a consumer may not know if that retailer is selling genuine products or not, right? Plus, it's the same thing with marketplaces. People can easily come up with listings saying I sell so and so branded protein powder or a supplement, and as a consumer I may not even know if this is a genuine listing or not. So two different problems. So in case of offline, it's very important that since there's physical products already there, and as a consumer can experience the physical product before buying it, you allow consumers to basically verify before the purchase itself happens that what they're buying is a genuine product. So, and that can work in the case of offline, but online I cannot do that. Online, I order, make the payment, sometimes get a COD, and then get the product in hand. So only when I get the product in hand, I can do what I did for offline. But online, what a brand needs to do is ensure that these fake listings, fake websites which come up over the night, and on social media you might see a lot of people trying to sell fake products. We come up with fake handles. You might be surprised, we've seen fake handles of even banks. So it's easy for people to even set up fake handles for a protein supplement company or a dietary supplement company. So trying to market themselves or trying to mask themselves as the actual protein supplier or the dietary supplement manufacturer, right? So in that case, it's important that brands cut down on all these mischief mongers who are trying to basically make a buck out of the name. Ensure that these fake listings, fake products, fake websites are brought down, and they don't even let them get to the consumer. They don't even take the money, because these websites or these people may just take the money and not even send the actual product, which still means that it's the brand's image which is getting tarnished. Or sometimes even when they send the product and when I consume the product and it doesn't work for me, I'm still worried and I'm still thinking that it's a brand, the product which did not work for me, right? Not knowing it was a fake product. So one, for offline, ensure that physical product is protected. For online, you ensure that you prevent the sale itself from happening. And of course, if the sale happens, you can still do the same strategy which you did for offline to ensure that when the product goes in the hands of the consumer, they can still verify it. So, and you need to tie in awareness to this. You have to run a little bit of consumer awareness, making the consumer aware that you're doing this so that they can, they would know what to do when they receive the product.
But then offline, how do I, even before counterfeit products come to the retailer, is there a way of, cleaning up my supply chain to ensure that at that stage itself, it's protected? Maybe for instance, the dealer or a distributor itself is pushing.
Yeah, that happens a lot.
So you've told this to me before that we've found in most of brands' cases, in especially this industry, the distributor and the dealer itself is pushing fake products. So how do you ensure if the retailer doesn't want to cheat the customer, for example, right? Like as a brand, how do you empower that?
It's difficult, right? If these people are not in your network, you don't have control over them, it's not going to be an easy task to do, right? I mean, the way to do it would be then to ensure that your people are out there in the market and are able to collect data and send it back to you so that you can verify it. And then there are tools available to do that, wherein they can on ground visualize and understand and analyze the product that they're looking at and verify if it's a genuine product or not. So which means still that you need to have feet on the ground, right? And this is in case when you don't have control over the network. You don't have control over the supply chain in itself, right? Where the product is getting sold. But if you do have control over the supply chain, then it's easier to do it, right? Then you need to ensure that you're able to trace the product in the supply chain. You have a well-based out mechanism, well-designed mechanism ensuring that a product will only move from so-and-so place to so-and-so place. So now when a particular unit receives a product, they can verify and ensure that they only got the product from the rightful entity which was supposed to send it to you. So what we call that in simple terms is a track and trace system, right? So if you build a track and trace system, you can ensure that there is no misses which happen in the supply chain. There's no introduction of products which are outside of the supply chain into the network. And this track and trace system has to work along with anti-counterfeiting system, right? So that you prevent fake products also from coming in, right? So mix of that, but that's in case you have a good control over the supply chain. If you don't, I think then you need to have mechanisms where you have feet on the ground, where people are, when your salespeople are moving around, or you could work with third parties who could then collect data and then provide them the technology to be able to analyze and understand right there on the ground that the product they're looking at is not yours. Even though it says it's yours, it's actually a fake product.
So guys, the offline part you understood. Now the online part, the problem which Vikas just described, right? Tracking social handles, tracking websites, tracking e-commerce websites to ensure that fake listings haven't come up. Online and offline, this was essentially the problem statement which we at Acviss started working on, right? And this is how you built out multiple products. Right. So shameless plug here. But can you just talk about some of these products and how, based on this problem statement, you developed them and architected them?
See, the problem statement is just one single problem statement, right? Ensuring trust in the supply chain. So whenever there is an introduction of a fake product or an introduction of a product which is of a substandard quality, the trust gets lost. And when I say it's trust in the supply chain, I mean an end-to-end trust, right from the manufacturing to the consumer. So all the products that we have is built around this aspect. So we have some products which work at the beginning of the supply chain, which could be at the manufacturing level, which we call it as origin. And then we have some products which work at the consumer level, which the consumer can verify, which is called certify. And then you have products on top of it to basically enhance the consumer experience, which we do. And you also have a track and trace system, which we call origin track and trace. So you have origin at the manufacturing, origin track and trace. What we're also able to do is go as far back as possible, right? You could also go back to the manufacturing of the powder itself. You can also go back to in terms of the ingredients which come into your product, right? You can even trace it back all the way to there and get to know the complete journey and provenance, right from the beginning. So those are the products that we build, all with the assumption or all with the understanding that they are solving one single key problem, which is supply chain trustability.